Hey everybody, welcome to the Dad Challenge podcast. My name's Josh. Thanks for joining me. Well, last week I did a video on Katie Sorensen, the update when the body cam footage was revealed and we all had a look at it, and it was super interesting and super triggering, and realized why she got in trouble for it. Well, she dropped another video on her private Instagram account and somebody has sent it to me, and so she just can't help herself. I thought she wasn't allowed to talk about it, but she talks about it. So I haven't seen it. We're gonna blind react to her saying a bunch of garbage. So let's do it. So yeah, Katie Sorensen over here acting all like, it's totally, I didn't do it. I think she's probably going to say something like, I honestly believe what I thought, right? And it almost like as a human, I'm like, okay, like, yeah, like people were like, you did it for clout. She wasn't like she had a big following. She had only 3,000 subscribers and then jumped up to 80,000 and it was viewed by millions of people. Crazy how viral it went. So I can almost believe her if she says something like, you know, I didn't expect it to do that. And I was just, honestly, this is what I thought. People can be paranoid too, right? Although you just gotta be careful with your paranoia, because if it like can hurt somebody else, you gotta be really careful with that. So does she believe it? Well, when she was presented with the evidence, she was like, well, I don't want this to be a big deal. Can we not make it a big deal? Like, she was presented with the evidence. So what she thought happened and what really happened was two different things. And she was spinning a story for us all to hear. And so that's where we left it off. And you guys were interested in the story. And so someone sent me this. And so let's watch it together, shall we?
Hi.
Hi.
If you're watching this, you are either a friend of mine, a family member, or you are one of 4 million people who watched the last video that I posted to social media.
I was one of those.
In December.
And I still have the video.
Of 2020, recounting an incident that I had while out shopping with my...
Is that 2020? December 2020? It's been almost 4 years since I covered that story. That was... Have I been doing this? I think I've been doing this since 2019. Yeah, late 2020. Holy smokes, I've been doing this for 4 years. Holy taboolies!
Children. If you're not familiar with who I am, my name is Katie Sorensen. Mm-hmm. I am infamously
a liar,
known as the Karen who cried kidnapping.
Yes, I didn't know that was the name, but I agree. That's a good one. The Karen who cried kidnapping.
As cleverly coined by Elle magazine.
Ooh.
I pretty much never wanted to get back on social media.
So why did you? I'm so sick of hearing people like, you know, I didn't want to do this video. I was never going to get on. Why did you then? You didn't have to. You could have disappeared because the body cam footage dropped. And so she feels she has to come out and say something. It would have gone away, lady. It would have gone away. No one cares about you anymore.
Again, after what has occurred over the past 4 years, but unfortunately, this story has spun so far out of control that it's gone beyond just being a story that people are mocking me.
You deserve the mocking. You deserve it.
A mom for...
A mom. See, there you go. There's the, mom. You're just a mom. I'm going to do a video tomorrow, and I've got it, about, like, the arguments that my haters, and not just haters, but everybody, like, the arguments I've gotten, and I'm going to counter all of the most popular arguments against what I do. And this is one of the arguments that happens. Why don't you only focus on moms? I mean, they're family vloggers. Most of them are moms. Most of them are. Even look at Mom Talk and all that stuff. The dudes are like secondary to them, like almost barely in it at all. It is a woman dominated industry. That's why. But they all use that. Oh, I'm a mom. You can't come after a single. If you have a single. If they're a single mom, then how dare thee? Or you're just coming after a. Shut up. You're still a human who gets to make choices, and if you make the bad choices, you get called out for the bad choices.
Making a kidnapping claim for clicks, which is completely inaccurate to what actually occurred. And now it has turned into people mocking my family.
I mean, when your kid was crying, I think people were mocking your kid, were mocking your parenting because your kid was literally having a meltdown and you couldn't control your children. I judge like anybody else judges. Like, you go to the grocery store and kids are out of control. Like, there's a couple different kinds of out of control, right? You know, kids are just having fun. They're a little bit free range. I have no problem with that. You know, running around, touching stuff. And some parents are a little bit more strict than others, but some parents think, whatever. And I'm okay with that, right? But there is a difference between completely uncontrollable children who are like a menace to society and like free range children. That kid was crazy. And I will judge parents who don't parent their kids. I will judge you. And I think everybody else does too. I just say it out loud.
My children, my husband, and I can't stay quiet about that anymore.
Oh, no, you should stay quiet about it. You should have. Because what are you going to do? Fight people?
I've always intended on sharing my story.
We know. When you were allowed and the judge said you can now be an influencer again.
Sharing the story of what happened.
You already shared the story of what happened. We all got it. And then you went to jail. Lady, remember that part? Did she go to jail? Did Katie Sorensen spend time in prison? Yeah, sentenced to jail. Not long. I think it was a couple of weeks or something like that. But she went to jail. That's what... I think so. Yes, sentenced to jail. So she's guilty. Along with jail time, she was sentenced to 12 months of probation, which prohibits her from having social media presence. Now, this has been years since then. She's also been ordered to complete implicit bias training and pay various fines and fees. How'd that training go? And she's sitting out here still being like, no, that's exactly what happened. Okay, your training failed.
And I really wanted to do so in a very well thought out manner.
Wow. Super well thought out.
Because the last time that I shared a story online,
I went to jail.
I went to jail.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
And so I'm definitely hesitant to.
So she's a felon, right? Can she vote? Like, it means that she's a felon, right? She's a convicted felon. She went to jail. Felonator. Share.
But unfortunately, I've gotten to a point now where I have to just kind of...
So why come out on an Instagram account that's private? Like, I'm glad someone shared it with me, someone screen recorded and gave it to me, but why, if you want to come out and defend your husband, your kids and all this stuff, why do it privately? Like, I don't get the logic. Like, you're so pissed off, you're adamant that you got to fix this, and yet you make it private.
Take the dive.
Not private anymore.
In and begin to advocate not for myself, but for my family at this point.
Mm-hmm. Better advocate for your family. Because that went so well last time when you were in jail. How'd your family do with you in jail? If your kid was that crazy, imagine that dad had to deal with that while she's in jail for a month. She probably had the best time of her life in jail. 3 squares and naps all day, like no kids screaming in your ears. Hell yeah!
As a mother, it is my purpose in life to protect my children.
I agree with that.
And it is an instinct that I will always adhere to unapologetically.
You should apologize for this one, though. I understand that. Like, I get what people are like, unapologetically, if I think this is going to go on, it's better to err on the side of caution, which I agree with, which I think is the same way when it comes to exploitation of children online. It's better to err on the side of caution. Just, you never know. So err on the side of caution. So I will agree with her on that one. But at the same time, maybe just keep it to yourself.
On Monday, December 7th of 2020, I felt as though my children were in danger. And
no, turns out they weren't.
So I did what we have always been taught to do, which is if you see something,
say something and lie.
Say something
to the internet with a dumb hat on. Like, the problem isn't that you didn't say something. The problem is that you said something went viral. And then you ended up being a damn liar because the detective was like, hey, you said that they were following you around the store, and looks at the cameras inside the store. Looks like that's not the case at all. So what were you saying? I hope she clarifies it.
I went to the local police department and filed a report. And if you followed my story, you know exactly how that played out.
Indian. She's got the Kristen wig. It's exactly how that played out.
There are so many details to this story and to this case that prove that I was honest.
Except the part where you went to jail for lying. You were lying and you were proved wrong by the video that they showed you. Are you kidding me? You went to court and they said you are guilty. Clearly they saw it too. What?
in my recollection of events as they transpired in December of 2020. The biggest indicator of this should be the 2 not guilty verdicts found in my case.
What about the guilty verdict? Do you have 2 not guilty verdicts?
If you're unfamiliar with the case itself, I was charged with 3 counts of filing a false police report. The first count...
So you're guilty of one of them.
...was my 911 call to dispatch, which I actually didn't call 911. I called the police department to just simply report suspicious behaviors, and then they transferred me to 911.
So you got off on a technicality, which it makes sense. You can't charge someone for calling 911 if they didn't. So I understand why that was probably dropped.
And I am going to get ahead of myself.
Because that's the non-emergency line.
Often here, because there are so many things I want to correct, because I've just watched for the past 4 years people so grossly misinterpret and misrepresent what happened.
Nope. You went to jail.
So if I take long pauses, it's because I'm reminding myself that now is not the time to fight that battle.
No, fight it. Fight it, influencer hands.
So, I was transferred over to...
I think her stomach just went...
dispatch, and that is the first count. The second count was my follow-up with police, as they had requested for me to come to the police department to follow up and finalize details of this reporting.
So it was dropped because they asked you to come, you didn't just go in? Is that what's happening?
Less than a week later, I followed up with police regarding my reporting and was told that the case had been closed, that they couldn't find any information, and I found that to be really discouraging. I sat in a lot of guilt and shame around the way in which that I handled the situation.
No. You don't get to say that, because you just said, I'm going to fight for my kids. I'm going to do this. What were you guilt and shame for? The way that you... Not guilt and shame for the people that you accused, but guilt and shame because you said you might have been, because you didn't do enough. I think you did more than enough. Nothing happened to your children. Let's say it was real. Let's say it truly was real. You got out of there just fine. You made the call. You asked to help. You got to the parking lot. You found an old dude to help you out. You got in the car with you. Remember, she climbed in the back with her kids. Remember, she did everything you should do. Nothing happened to her kids. Because considering it was real, your kids were fine. So what, guilt and shame over doing what you thought you should have been? That guy doesn't. Again, you're lying. You're bad at this.
That guilt and shame was rooted in me not reacting the way that I thought I should have. I want to be very clear on that. The guilt and shame that I felt was rooted in me not reacting the way that I felt that I should have.
I don't understand it. So you should have reacted worse? What? I don't get it.
When faced with a situation like thinking that my children were in danger. So a few days following, I decided to post to social media and share with my small Instagram account what had happened. If you watched the video, you saw that it was very self-deprecating. I was not out for attention.
Yeah, you were. Don't lie. Yes, you are. You're absolutely out for attention, you damned liar.
Wasn't out for vengeance. I wasn't out.
That too. Yes, you were. You're trying to call them up, be like, look, Mama, it's awareness time. Let's awareness this.
Saying, we need to find these people. It was simply a video saying, hey guys, I acted in a way that I never thought I would react when faced with a situation where I felt my children were in danger, and I carry so much guilt and shame for that.
Again, if it were true, everything was good, so you should be proud of yourself. What is she saying right now? It doesn't make any sense.
I want to empower you to make sure that if you're ever faced with a situation where you're fearful for your kids, you know what you're going to do, because you always think you know what you're going to do, and then you get in that situation and you don't do it.
You did it.
That was it. That was the messaging of that video. And it ended up going viral. And that's when things kind of spun out of control.
But if you're telling the truth, they wouldn't have spun out of control. If she was telling the truth, she wouldn't have gone to jail. The end. I don't care what she's saying about these other... So she didn't touch on the third count. Obviously, she only touched on the 2 counts that she got dismissed. But that's just because they were easily dismissed because of, like, weird things. She didn't call 911. I understand that. The other one was she went voluntarily in, or was asked to come in, sorry. And so it wasn't like she went in to falsely report, and so you can't. I mean, that's almost entrapment or something. I don't know. But like, what about the third count?
So that brings me to the third count that I was charged with.
This is where people get mad at me. Like, Josh, just listen. Okay, just listen.
Following the viral nature of that video, police came to my home and followed up with me, requesting specific statements and information.
Mm-hmm. We saw.
Now, this interaction haunts me to this day.
It haunts us all. The screaming child.
Because I was not aware enough to know that I did not need to allow police into my home at that time, and it would have been in my best interest to have a lawyer present.
So, you're telling us you lied. So here's why I think that I shouldn't be, because I shouldn't have talked to the police, because I talked to them and spoke the truth, and then I went to jail for it. That's what she's saying. Look, and I agree with her. And I told my wife the other day, because my wife wouldn't do, like, I told her, I don't think she'll ever listen to me. I'm like, don't ever talk to police unless you're like a witness to something, and it's like, if police come to your door and are like, we'd like to talk to you about something, no thanks. Here, lawyer, am I under arrest? Okay, nope. No, then no. Nope. Nope. Don't care if you're the most innocent person on earth. I don't care. I don't care if they get the wrong house. Don't ever talk to the police, people. I cannot believe we're still in this world where people will voluntarily talk to police. Especially in this, like, especially in the UK, okay? Like, don't talk to police ever. But, like, always just get a lawyer. It's going to be worth your time every time, and your money. It's going to be worth it every single time. Lawyers will tell you. Who are those old lawyers that said, like, don't effing talk to police. Effing don't talk to them. Ever. Idiots.
During that discussion. But because I was being honest, and because
so there you go. She was being honest, and she went to jail for it.
Felt confident. That thought didn't even cross my mind to me.
It didn't cross your mind when they presented you with the evidence counter to what you said to them? Didn't cross your mind there? Because we saw that and it was pretty cringy. That didn't cross your mind that, it wasn't? Well, that's what I saw.
Lawyer present.
Well, we saw the footage and it's not what happened.
And so I went forward with that discussion with police, and that is the count that I was found guilty on for filing a false police report.
Because they presented counter evidence to your evidence that was counter to what you said, that was correct because it was on camera. That's why you went to jail. If it was just like they came to you and you presented this case to them and then you went put in jail, no. You had to have been accused of a lie and then found guilty of that lie. And you lied, lady! So she's back on the internet just basically saying, no, I think these people tried to kidnap my children. She's saying it again.
Yeah, again. So many things I want to share and so many things that I want to say. I just don't really know where to start.
Oh, yeah? Well, it's halfway through. You already started.
You may think that you know who I am.
No, we don't. We don't care who you are. You went on the internet with your 3,000 followers. Again, 3,000 is not a small number, by the way. Like imagine sitting in a room with 3,000 people. It's a lot. Okay, it went viral for a reason. Those 3,000 people shared it all over because they were outraged with you about this thing, and they didn't share it out of hatred or like thought you were lying. They all shared it because they were concerned. And then it started. This always happens, and then it all falls apart when actually people start looking into it and be like, okay, hold on, let's take a look at this. So you shared it for attention to the 3,000 plus that you had in your Instagram account, and it worked. You went viral for it. So don't sit here and be like, if it was like 1 to 200 people on your Instagram, okay, it's different. You have 3,000 followers.
Based off of these headlines and the things that you've read and seen online. But the truth is, none of that is telling of who I really am. And I, of course...
Yeah, you're a liar.
I can say that. Anyone can advocate for themselves and say, you don't really know me.
You only see 15 seconds? Melly, that's another argument.
But I want to invite you and encourage you to come along.
Who else says that? Who else says that? Get ready with me, right? Not get ready with me. Get ready to hear it. Who else says that? I'm not sure I understand. I want to invite you to not have Christmas presents this year. I want to invite you to not be a jerk. I want to invite you to be grounded. I want to invite you to... Ruby Frankie says that. Ruby Frankie does that. I want to invite you to... And then it's like something super negative. I don't accept your invite then. I want to invite you to sleep on a beanbag for 8 months.
Or on your own. See for yourself what actually occurred.
How are we supposed to do that? Is the footage released of the inside of the store?
Have you seen the police footage, all of the footage in its entirety?
No. But we do know that you went to jail. We know that. We know that you were sentenced and found guilty. So somebody saw it. Lawyers saw it. Judges saw it. Probably wasn't a jury, but other people saw it. And then you went to jail. So look, I'm not saying that justice system always gets it right, but this one was probably like, they must have saw something.
Have you taken the time to do that? Have you read through
and I would absolutely look at the footage. Send it my way. I'll have a live stream of it.
The court transcripts, the entirety of the court transcripts, and seen what actually occurred in court.
Okay, then if we do that, are we going to come to the conclusion that you shouldn't have went to jail? Is that what you're telling us? Because the conclusion of the reports would be that you went to jail.
Are you familiar with the histories, the criminal histories, the professional histories of all involved in this case?
Is she saying that the people were actually criminals? Is that what she's saying right now? Is that what she's saying? I'm not saying I don't believe her. Just saying, is that what she's saying? Just saying.
And how seemingly everyone has benefited from this situation that's been involved.
Except you.
With me as the exception, which I never intended to benefit from this, so...
You did. You were pretty happy when it went viral first, until it flipped, and then you deleted it all. See, when you panic delete something after it's already gone viral, there's a reason for that.
It's neither here nor there for me.
She's so pissed that she can't capitalize on this newfound, because a lot of people go viral for wrong reasons and they gather big audiences. We know half the people we cover on here are the biggest shit asses in the world and they have huge audiences. Micah Stauffer could come back, right, and still gather a large audience. And people would be like, yeah, you served your... There would be apologists for Micah Stauffer. There would be. She would have a lot of following of hate, yes, but she would have people and she would make money. She would.
Before I share any further, I think it's really important for me to clarify that by stepping forward and sharing, I have no intention to disparage
after she just said that the people that there's criminal things.
Anyone involved. I do not stand for bullying, harassment, or hate speech of any kind.
Cool. Okay.
And
unless you're doing it.
And I want it to be known that if that has occurred for anyone on my behalf, that is not representative of me. I do not stand for that. Mm-hmm. This situation is the perfect reflection of our society's obsession with social media culture, outward appearances, pledging loyalties to certain groups or ideologies, when in reality, underneath all of that, we are all the same.
No, we're not. We're better than you.
I think the most unfortunate part of this situation is that people were pitted against one another wrongfully, and this is a situation that so easily could have been...
She's speaking in such vagaries that it's so hard to follow. My ADHD is like, right now. Okay? She's just spouting bullshit words right now.
Resolved had the people who were in charge of how this all played out done their...
I want to invite you to be more clear, please, and just stop being boring. I invite you to be exciting.
Job in the name of peace, promoting peace and doing what's best for the community instead of trying...
She still lives in Petaluma, and apparently people know her in Petaluma, and she's like an outcast of Petaluma. Like, I would have left a long time ago and been like, go somewhere else. You wouldn't hardly be recognized, maybe once in a blue moon. But in Petaluma, this thing went super viral inside the city itself. And she still lives there.
To fuel a narrative and pit people against one another. You'll see.
Will we? What will we see? You went to jail already.
I want to leave you with my initial statement that I made in July of 2022. This was prior to the trial actually beginning, and is the statement that I gave in hopes of
not going to jail.
us being able to find some sort of resolution as opposed to going to trial.
And jail.
Because of the way that everything played out, I never had an opportunity to correspond with those involved. I never had the opportunity to...
Well, you accused them, so there was sort of correspondence.
Talk to anyone. I was vilified from the beginning, and...
Rightly so.
Was kind of pigeonholed, in a sense, and given no voice. I didn't even have the opportunity, because had I done what I wanted to do, that could have been used against me.
Meaning make more YouTube videos and stuff. That's what she wanted to do. She wanted to use social media, and the judge told her she couldn't. I don't agree with that, though. Honestly, that's your freedom of speech, and the fact that a judge can just tell you cannot speak about something, I think that's actually crazy. No matter who it is, I think that if you're not allowed to speak about it, if a judge stops you from talking about it, for what reason? I think that's... I can't believe that your Second Amendment doesn't cover that. Or First Amendment. Is it First Amendment? Second Amendment's guns, isn't it? I don't know.
And criminalized me further. And so, and by that I mean apologize. An apology, that's the society we live in.
Just get to the thing, man. Stop talking.
And you guys, an apology could have been used against me to criminalize me. This whole situation, I look back and I think, yuck.
We do too. To you though. Yucky to you. Yucko.
This is the world we live in.
Yeah, and you are trying to capitalize on it.
We have to play all these games, and that we can't just be honest. Which what? I know, it's ironic coming from the person who
isn't it ironic?
Went to jail for lying.
Oh, she did this. So you're saying you're not? She's saying she didn't lie. She's telling you right now she didn't lie, and she lied because she was presented with evidence. And so was the judge during this jury thing or the trial, and clearly went to jail for it. So what she said on her video is probably held against her, because she said they were doing this, and this, and then they showed the video evidence, and it probably didn't line up.
So anyway, here's that statement.
Anyways.
Just a note, I have redacted the names of those involved. I have never, nor will I ever...
Oh, this is actually from the court.
...use their names publicly out of respect for their privacy.
Mm-hmm.
I am deeply sorry for the pain, confusion, and heartache that this situation has wrought upon their loved ones and the Petaluma community. As a mother, it is my purpose in life to protect my children. It is an instinct I will always adhere to fiercely.
She's saying the same thing she started this video with.
However, I'm human, and my instincts and intuition are not always perfect. On Monday, December 7th, 2020, I felt as though my children were in danger. After careful review of the evidence provided by the Petaluma Police Department, it is apparent to me that my children were not in the danger I thought they were in.
Boom. That's by her own words. And then in this video alone, she's like, lying. She still sticks by it. She was going around the bush by saying it, but she is saying that now she's saying that she committed perjury. Is that what happened here?
I now believe did not attempt to kidnap my children. I'm sincerely remorseful for the pain that this has so clearly caused the family, and would welcome the opportunity to engage in any form of discussion with them so that I can personally convey my thoughts and feelings to them.
I'm sure they want to hear your thoughts and feelings. So there you go. She admits it right there. After reviewing the evidence I was sent, why did she even say all that stuff before this? And then the publicly admissible to court whatever thing, she is saying she didn't mean it? What?
Sincerely, Katie Sorensen.
Wow. Well, that cleared it up. What?
Unfortunately, this opportunity was never granted to me.
Huh?
There's still...
Sounds like it was at the court.
So much left to this story. We are only...
Clearly not, because you just admitted that you were wrong. And you admitted it in front of a judge in the recording from the court. Unless you're just reading that. But it looks like it was inputted into the court. So there's not much more to that. You said after being presented with the evidence, I was lying.
Barely scratching the surface here, but I just could not in good conscience, let the narrative running rapid all over the internet continue.
Well, if that's what you're looking for, you failed miserably, because we all thought you were lying, and then in your court thing, you admitted you were lying!
Without speaking up and saying something.
Wow, okay, well, thanks.
I look forward to finally having a voice in all of this after 4
I look forward to building my social media platform and making money on this. That's what she's doing. She's capitalizing on it.
years
And I'm gonna freaking tear you shit to shreds.
of being silenced. I have a lot in the works as far as how I'm going to be sharing and don't have any set timeline. But this right here
This is her soft launch back into social media.
is my start.
Okay. Well, that was silly. Wow, so Katie Sorensen is coming back. She's not going to let it happen. And she sat there and told us, basically in workaround terms, that there's so much more to tell. There's this and that and the other thing. And then this is what I said in court, and it sounds like she was saying it in court. I could be wrong about that. And then it was like, basically after reviewing the evidence, everybody's right. I was damn lying. What? And now she's going to come back because she has nothing else. She wants to capitalize. She's being smug about it, too. She's being smarmy, little smug, little douche about it. That's okay, Katie. It's all right. Welcome back to the internet. Happy to have you. Happy to have a little extra snarkable people to snark on. It's good. So, what do you guys think of that statement? That's quite crazy. She seems like she's totally, absolutely making up shit again. That's what it sounds like. So, everybody, take a deep breath. Thanks for joining me. This is weird stuff that goes on. People cannot just leave well enough alone. Walk away. You had the opportunity to walk away. Everybody forget you eventually. Just walk away. We all forgot you until the freaking camera dropped. The footage dropped to the police. No one ever remembered you. Then you came back. Now you're like, well, I have to capitalize this. I have to make money on social media. There better not be one friggin' ad read on these channels. There's nobody that should be giving you money. You lied about something and admitted to it. That's crazy. And now you're going to try to come back. Well, good luck to you, dumbass. You're not a dumbass, though, if you're watching this. You're incredible, valuable, amazing. Don't you forget it. And I will see you when I see you.